Imagine returning home after 3 long years, after a desperate journey across the vast, unforgiving ocean, only to find everyone gone. Not a single soul. No smoke from the chimneys, no familiar faces rushing to greet you. Just an empty fort. Its palisades weathered, its silence deafening. This was Governor John White's horrifying reality in August of 1590, sailing back to the colony he'd left 3 years prior. He journeyed back to England in 1587 to plead for supplies for the fragile settlement. 117 men, women, and children, including his own daughter and granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. But the Spanish Armada intervened, trapping ships and sailors, delaying his return until it felt like an eternity. Finally, the seas cleared, and White was granted passage. His heart must have swelled with hope, imagining the relief on their faces. But instead, as the ship approached the island, an eerie quiet settled. No welcoming fires, no distant shouts, just the rustle of leaves in the wind. The landing party cautiously stepped ashore, their boots crunching on fallen leaves, a sense of dread growing with every step. They called out, their voices swallowed by the dense forest, echoes the only reply. The fort stood silent, a gaping, empty mouth. And that's when they found it. A single, stark word, carved into a post. A clue, or a chilling epitaph. Inside the fort, an unsettling scene. Chests had been dug up and plundered, but not in haste. This wasn't a sudden attack. Everything suggested an orderly, if desperate, departure. No signs of struggle, no bodies, no blood. The first word they saw was crow, carved into a nearby tree. A partial message, perhaps, or a sign of urgency. But then, on a main palisade post leading into the fort, the full, undeniable word, Croatoan. And one crucial detail that changed everything. There was no cross symbol carved above the word. This, as White well knew, was not just a name, it was a pre-arranged message. Croatoan was the name of a friendly Native American island, known today as Hatteras. White immediately understood. They had gone to Croatoan. But the weather, it seemed, had other plans. A brutal storm descended, tossing White's ships like toys. Anchors were lost, ropes snapped, and crucial supplies were damaged. Attempting to reach Croatoan Island became a perilous gamble. One sailor was lost trying to retrieve an anchor. The storm raged for days, pushing the ships further and further off course. With dwindling provisions and a battered fleet, White's captains refused to press on. They were forced to turn back to England, leaving the colonists behind. For decades, the official story in England conveniently overlooked the clear clue. Instead, theories of Native American massacres or Spanish raids gained traction. Why? Because these narratives absolved the crown of responsibility. It was easier to mourn lost souls than to admit a colossal failure of follow-up. Such convenient fictions also served to vilify Native Americans, providing justification for future expansion. No serious expeditions were launched. The clearest instruction in early American history was buried under political expediency and the weight of neglect. The Lost Colony became a cautionary tale, a spooky legend, rather than a puzzle with an obvious, if tragically ignored, first move. And it gets weirder. Remember that missing cross symbol? This wasn't just a casual omission. White and the colonists had a specific pre-arranged code. If they were forced to leave under duress, say an attack by hostile natives or Spanish raiders, they were to carve a cross above their destination. The absence of that cross meant they left willingly, or at least without immediate coercion, heading for a pre-arranged friendly location, Croatoan Island. So the mystery wasn't where they went. White knew where they went. The real riddle is why official follow-up failed so spectacularly, and why history, for centuries, chose to misread or outright forget this crucial pre-arranged detail. The colonists left a breadcrumb trail, and no one followed. Fast forward centuries, and archaeology began to peel back the layers. Digs on Roanoke Island confirmed a hurried but organized departure. But the truly fascinating finds came from Hatteras Island, the very place known as Croatoan. Archaeologists there unearthed a trove of 16th century European artifacts. Sword hilts, rings, writing slates, all mingled with Native American pottery and tools. These weren't just trade goods, these were personal items, suggesting the presence of European individuals living within Native communities. And then there's Site X, or Site R, an inland site in North Carolina, discovered years ago, revealed tantalizing European artifacts dating to the late 1500s, far from any established English fort. A small settlement, perhaps? Crucially, we must turn to the voices that have often been silenced, the oral histories of Native American tribes. The Lumbee people of North Carolina have long maintained traditions of ancestors who came from Roanoke or were white people who joined their tribes centuries ago. Their stories tell of European features, gray eyes, lighter hair, appearing in their lineage, passed down through generations. Similarly, the Hatteras tribe, descendants of the Croatoan people, speak of ancestors who welcomed and absorbed the English settlers. These aren't just quaint legends, they align remarkably with the archaeological record. It's almost like they're trying to tell us something. Putting all the pieces together, the most credible modern theory isn't one of vanishing, but of integration. Facing dwindling supplies and the crushing realization that Governor White wasn't coming back, the colonists made a rational, strategic decision. They moved, most likely to Croatoan Island, where they knew they had friendly relations, or perhaps further inland, seeking safer, more resource-rich territories. There, they integrated into existing Native American communities, not necessarily as conquerors or even equals, but as people seeking refuge and survival. This explains the orderly departure, the lack of bodies, the personal European artifacts in native contexts, and the enduring oral histories. It's a story not of disappearance, but of adaptation, of different cultures weaving together in the vast, untamed wilderness of a new world. So, the Lost Colony of Roanoke didn't vanish into thin air. They left a clear message, a deliberate clue. The real enduring mystery isn't where they went, it's why official efforts to find them were so readily abandoned. Why a recoverable situation was allowed to fester into America's first haunting cold case. Why their lives became a legend instead of a rescue mission. The individual fates of those 117 settlers, the children, White's own family, remain unknown, a poignant silence in the historical record. But the story we're left with is far richer, far more complex than simple disappearance. It's a testament to human resilience, to the blending of cultures, and a stark reminder that history often tells us what we want to hear, not what truly happened. The Lost Colony didn't vanish. They joined a new world, leaving us with a truly fascinating and often misunderstood human story. And this is just one story among countless mysteries history left behind. Subscribe, and let's keep uncovering them together. And if this one got you thinking, a like or a share helps more curious minds find it.